All right, let's open up with a word of prayer. We give thanks for this moment in time. We give thanks for this sunny day, this Sunday, a day to go in and retreat within, do some introspection work, love on yourself, commune with God. We give thanks for that moment to do that. We give thanks for Oyun and the global community that comes together on this Sunday to gather in fellowship, raising our frequency towards divinity, remembering who we are as children of God, and also remembering the reality of God and what that truly means in our lives. We give thanks for whatever message is channeled today during our call. May it be fruitful for everyone who is tuning in. May they be able to carry it with them. If something resonates, may they be able to remember it and walk in it. And may we not just be hearers of the word, but doers of the words. We give thanks in advance. Amen. Ashe. Amen. 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 All right. Give thanks. Well, I wanted to share something this morning. I was thinking, I was like, I don't know what we're gonna talk about today. And then I was walking in here in the space this AM and give thanks, Shanique. I was walking in the space and I saw my Sacred Woman book sitting on the little table over there. And I said, maybe I'll share something out of there. Didn't think too much about it, flipped it open, and it landed on 7-day transformational work that she outlined in the book. 7-day transformational work. I thought that was amazing. I said, okay, look at this on the 7th day, Sunday. I opened this up and it's in alignment with so much that I've been talking about. I've been talking about transformation because this month is, I'm calling a month of transformative work. Like it is a month of transformation. It is powerful energy in this month. We're still in the Lionsgate portal. We had a quite powerful new moon. We have Mercury retrograde. We're in the middle of Mercury retrograde. I was talking to a sister the other day. I said, go look up the symbol of Mercury retrograde and see what it reminds you of. Look up the symbol for Mercury retrograde and see what it reminds you of. It reminds you of the medicine symbol. Mercury retrograde is like the medicine, if you see it as that. So I'm really challenging us as metaphysicians, as people who have a level of understanding and true consciousness, that we look at Mercury retrograde on a higher sense, that we never look down upon or become afraid of any cosmic activity that's going on, because anything that's happening is for the sake of the Almighty, of course. It's for the sake of you elevating anything that's happening. Don't get caught up in this world and how it goes into describing stuff and all of that. This is why, I do work with natal charts and astrology and all these different things, but I constantly always say, I want to take the spook out of spirituality, take it out of it. Let's look at things as they're always for the good. And so when you start to understand what's happening cosmically, as above, so below, and you begin to learn how to flow intentionally in these spaces, let's not ever entertain that something is bad, something is wrong, something is anything, even if it shows up in your world as a challenge. Because yes, there are challenges in Mercury retrograde. Communication is off. You may experience more traffic. Your car might start having problems. Your electronics may start having issues. Relationship may start conflicting if there are some things that need to be communicated, that need to be uprooted right now. So don't be surprised if arguments start to try to happen and all those different type of things. You're supposed to be walking in this space a little bit more gingerly because you understand. You're supposed to be walking into this space a little bit more like you on holy ground, sacred ground, taking your shoes off, meaning taking your ego out of it, and understanding that whatever is coming up in your world that's supposed to come up in your world during Mercury retrograde, you're supposed to be still, lighthearted, open-minded, so you can be able to see what the lesson is, because this is a time of medicine. It's a time to see something. So if something starts stirring up in a relationship, you're supposed to be seeing, it's showing you something. And if it show you something that's a little like, ew, yucky, I wish I didn't see that, don't judge it. It was meant for you to see. And even if you see it and it's something that's not so pretty, that's okay. Let it be what it is. It's just showing you there's some work to be done in this. Or it's some understanding to need to be had, or some letting go that needs to happen. So a lot of people start having problems on the job, all of these different things during Mercury retrograde, but it's showing you that there's some medicine that's need to be had in this. There's something you need to see. There's something you need to transform. But so during this transformative month, with this Mercury retrograde, Lionsgate, you got a super full moon coming up on the 17th or the 19th rather. You have the eclipse season is coming after this full moon. We're gonna have a whole eclipse season. So there's a lot of things happening energetically. And without me going too much into that, if you are interested in those things, you want to learn more about astrology, you would be interested in my Immerse group. In my Immerse group, we talk more astrological talk. I kind of talk about astrology here and there, or cosmic activities and different things like that here and there, because it applies. I want people to have an understanding. Like when you're talking about certain things, I'm like, yeah, that's happening because of this. I want you to just try to understand it, what it is. But if you want to learn more, Immerse group is for you. But there's even more happening. There are some other aspects happening cosmically, and all of it is pointing to transformative work. But we already know we're in the age of out with the old, in with the new, right? Out with the old structures, in with the new. How many of you have been struggling a little bit with hanging on to the new structures? I want you to be careful, and I'm challenging you to really pay attention when your personality, when the person of you tries to go back to these old way of doing things, old way of addressing things, old way of handling things, because those sometimes are our comfort zones, even though many of those ways of handling things in life may give us temporary gratification, but it never really gives us sustainable relief. It never really does. It just kind of put it off for a little while till it come back around again, and you gonna have to deal with it in a new way. And the new way, let's make sure we are reminded that when we use these words old and new, we're talking about something metaphysical now. So I want to look up the word old for you. Pay attention. What do I mean by old way and new way? I want us to be clear, because I keep saying that, out with the old, in with the new. And I want you to know what I'm talking about. Not new in the way that you want it to be. New in the truest sense of the word. New in the truest sense of the word. Come on, internet. Work with me. So take note of what we mean by that. Okay, what's happening? Okay, stop. Share. All right, the site that I am using is, okay. There we go. All right, screen sharing has stopped as the share window is closed. All right, come on, retrograde. Come on, Mercury. All right, there we go. What we doing here? All right, old. It's talking about old age here, but we can get an understanding of what old means metaphysically. Out with the old. What is it saying about old age? A belief, a false belief, deeply embedded in the race mind. A false belief. That's what old mean. Old mean false beliefs, deeply embedded in the race mind. It accepts biological law as the ultimate for man instead of law of God. So if we're talking about old anything, it's you accepting world law or life law or carnal concepts versus the law of God, the reality of God, that's what we call truth. So the old is attached to carnal-minded beliefs. So let's give an example. Just make it tangible. Let's make it tangible. What could be an old way? An old way is you dealing with something in a way that is attached to carnal or egoic thinking. So it could be attached to fear. You handle things from a place of fear. So that means instead of you clearing the mind, going into a still place, taking a deep breath, when you get faced with a situation that may be jarring, creates anxiety, creates fear, whatever. Instead of you being still, pausing for the cause, taking a deep breath, getting still, getting empty, then saying first going into remembrance. All right, God. The reality is God. And God is the reality of divine restoration, divine protection, divine, and you go into remembrance first. That's a new way of handling it. An old way is you immediately reacting. You immediately reacted from a place of fear. Maybe you reacting in a defensive mode. So now I have to be on defense. And so you're not allowing the I to defend you. You're allowing that lowercase I, the you, the lowercase you, the carnal you, the ego you, to handle the situation. And that's why it's not sustainable. Because the situation came up so that you can activate God energy and handle the situation so that it can be in alignment with a divine plan that it is a part of. Because everything that happened in your life is a part of the divine plan, everything. But when you start to interject because you're walking in your old ways, it doesn't mean that divine plan won't play out. But most likely that's going to have to come back around and keep coming back around till you address it in a divine way or the new way. That's just an example. There are many ways that we may be handling it from a logical. A logical can also fall into carnal and egoic. A lot of us love our logical mind. Oh, if it don't make sense, make it make sense for me. It sometimes it's not gonna make sense for you. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's not gonna make sense for you. So if you're addicted to it making sense, you're gonna have to work with that. Because, baby, let me tell you something about it. I'll just share your sister life. There's a lot of stuff that ain't logical in my world. It's a lot. When I say a lot, if I lay it all out, I don't know if y'all trust me no more. Y'all be like, this lady crazy. She in la la land. She fooling us. She got us walking down blindfolders on, just like her. Hey, I am. I am. Because I want you to close your eyes. So the eye can open. Okay, so the eye can open. You got to be a little bit bolder over here. You got to be a little bit more courageous over here. It's just what it is. All right. All right. So in this time, because I want to get to the Queen of Full Work. In this time, I've been saying out when you got to get to the out with the old, in with the new in this way. Oh, I didn't show y'all new. I showed you old, but let me show you new from a metaphysical standpoint. What does new mean? All right. Out with the old. What was the old? Where you're doing something, thinking something, perceiving something from a carnal space, from a race mind. That's what they call it in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, the race mind, meaning the human mind, the logical mind, the generational thought process, false belief mind, right? So what is the new? Because this is what we were wanting to usher in or receive. New birth, newness of life, new race. I'll read new birth. The realization by man of his spiritual identity. You want to know what out with the old, in with the new mean? Out with the old way of thinking that I'm just human. I'm just human. I'm just a human. You're not. You are a spiritual being. That I'm just human gives you an excuse to be lazy with your thinking, lazy with your tongue, lazy with your behavior. You're being lazy. Sorry. I ain't think y'all was gonna have, I don't, go get your boots, okay? we got a member in the building this morning. She talking about I got my guns out. I don't be knowing. I'm sorry. I don't be knowing. I'm talking to all, I ain't talking to just you. It's me. It's a reminder. I just want to be in my, I get it. I get it. Sometimes we want to be there. All right. Okay. Let me relax. All right. You just want to be sad. You just want to be in your grief. You want to be angry. You want to be resentful. I just want to be, okay. All right. I'm just saying though, on the other side of that, there's a victory that you're not going to gain. I'm telling you, there's a victory that you're not going to gain. So at some point, you got to move past that temporary gratification of venting, of having somebody who understands where you coming from and all of that. That is not important, really. There's plenty of people who could trauma bond with you. So when you want to get past the trauma bonding? All right. Okay. I was going to go in on that, but I'm not going to do it. Y'all hear me? New birth, the realization by man of his spiritual identity with the fullness, my God, giving thanks, of power and glory that follows. A birth is a coming into a state of being. Oyun means ready to be birthed, ready to be born, pregnant, ready to be born. A birth is a coming into a state of being, ready to come in the state of beingness. The state of being a divine being. A birth is a coming into a state of being. The birth of Jesus is speaking of a state of being that was birth. That's what your word talking about. And the journey of that is the journey of what happens when you come into that. You're going to get people who don't believe in you. You're going to get people who want to crucify you, want to talk bad upon you. And sometimes that's going to be your family and your friends. But it ain't about you like that. So you're not going to take offense and be trying to convince them and talk to them and this is how you do it and this is why I'm doing it and y'all don't see this and not. No. The man called Jesus in the Bible was trying to teach you something. Comes from a virgin birth, a new consciousness, not filled with the consciousness of this world. Man first is born or comes into a state of physical being. He thinks of himself as flesh and material. That's the first birth. The new birth is the coming into a higher state of being that is alive to the fact that man is like God, one with God. What is newness of life? Understanding of the spiritual facts of being. Get to understand the laws of living, the laws of your divinity. This is why we have this fellowship every Sunday, so that we can understand what we are as divine beings. So what does that really mean? There are laws, meaning things that are. Whether you like it or not, understand it or not, there are laws of God, laws of life, laws of being, laws of energy, there are these laws that are what they are. You may not like how some people talk about it, how Joe Dispenza may talk about it, Abraham Hicks may talk about it, Muja may talk about it. Any of these people may talk about it in a new age. I ain't with that new age stuff. I don't like that new age stuff. It's not new age. We're calling it new because it's talking about a spirit. New. Now, metaphysicians, we understand what new means. That's why it's called new age. It's been called new age, but it ain't talking about how people talking about it. New meaning like what I'm showing here, new. An understanding of your spiritual identity. So if we understand it like that, what is a new age? It's an age where you understand your spiritual identity. So if you don't want to hear new age talking, new age living, people telling you what they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear what it means to be a spiritual being. Half the time because they're ignorant. They don't understand what that means. And they have some preconceived notions of what they think that means. So they can go on and do something blasphemous by denouncing God's creations like a sage or the gemstones and astrology and all of that. They can go on these tangents to be downright disrespectful to God. Not to people who do it, but it's just ignorance. God forgive them, for they know not what they do. Don't look down upon them. Spread light. If God leads you to, try to explain it to him. Don't cast pearls don't cast your pearls to swines, though. Period. And you already know what that means and how that is. All right, Newtons of life, understanding the spiritual facts of being. And then a new race. The new race. The race of men expressing the perfection of God as typified in Jesus. All men are potential members of this new race. And they can become a part of it by following and demonstrating Christ principle or Christ consciousness. So to my Muslim sisters and brothers, can they do this? Yes. As a matter of fact, I talk to more Islamic sisters and brothers who understand Christ consciousness than Lord, let me stop. Can our Ifa brothers and sisters, can our Hindu brothers and sisters, any of them? If you do your research, they study Christ more than the folks sitting in church and honor it. They honor the Christ consciousness. And it shows up in their culture under a different name or under a different deity or whatever it may be. But we're talking about a consciousness here. We're not talking about a figure, a form, a man, this idea that we had in the past about what Jesus is and what God is and what all of this is. It's not none of that depicted idolatry that has been taught over the years. That's not what it's talking about. That's why we can't meet people who walking in Christ consciousness, even though they go to church every Sunday for the last 20 years. How did I get here? Wait a minute. Bring it in. Yeah, bring it in. Reel it in. Reel it in, yeah. Reel it in, reel it in. Lord help us. Look, it's the passion. Pardon me. Where we going with this, Yenn? All right, there needs to be a purging that goes on. It needs to be a cleansing, a detoxing, a purging that goes on in our lives and our worlds. I challenge you, if you grew up religious at all, Christian, Islamic, whatever, if you grew up religious, I really want you to reflect upon your understanding about God. So if you have some levels of misunderstanding, I want you to really strive to seek that understanding. Don't just stay stagnant in that consciousness. Pay attention to what is your idea of Jesus, of Muhammad, of Oshun, of Olodumare, of Shiva, of whatever. What is it? What do you understand it as principle? Do you understand it as consciousness? Do you understand it as one that is talking about you? Are you understanding as that, or are you still thinking it as a character or a person or a being? And if you still have that, it's okay. If that is there, acknowledge it and start to seek deeper understandings about God. Deeper understanding about God consciousness. In Christianity, that shows up as Christ consciousness. Get a deeper understanding of it, right? So also, when it comes to coming to levels of balance and understanding, it is essential for us to prepare our physical bodies, create an atmosphere in our physical bodies that can experience levels of inner breakthroughs. Does that make sense? When your body is not in a state, this is why when people go into initiations, when you go into deep levels of spiritual healing, spiritual studies or whatever, they'll say, don't eat meat, don't eat onions, don't eat garlics, don't be around dogs. It's a lot of things. Don't wear color. It's a lot of things that they'll say. Remove yourself away from that. It's some herbs they'll tell you to get on. It's a detox or a fast they'll tell you to do. You will see that when people are going on spiritual enlightenment journeys. And so this is where I thought this was so divine that when I opened this book that I was inspired to share something from today, that it went straight to a 7-day transformational work. So I want to read that out. Those who have the Sacred Woman book, and by the way, I do use this book when I'm working with male clients too. I really do, because there's so much in here that is really good for them. Although I know there's a version of this book that's written for men. And I feel like Queen Afua's son put that book together. Now, I know she wrote a book that's specifically for males too, but I believe the son wrote a book as well that's similar or has the same concept of Sacred Woman, but for men, by the way. However, I think that men can benefit from having this book as well, Sacred Woman book. I really do, especially if you have daughters, if you have a wife, if you have a companion, if you want a woman, if all of that would be great is if you dig into some of this work that Queen Afua did for, when it comes to Sacred Woman, because it can be very helpful so you can have an understanding of the woman and the soul. And let's be clear, Divine Feminine is pointing to soul work. Right now with OU members, we are doing a lot of soul work studies, soul transformation studies. And so it is essential for us to do soul work. That's essential, you know? And so when we're talking about the Divine Feminine or the woman, when we're talking about that from a spiritual standpoint or from a metaphysical standpoint, we're talking about soul work. So I would even say picking up a Sacred Woman book, a male picking this up is essentially doing soul work and could help you to understand women from a different perspective, but also the soul from a different perspective. If you know it, woman or Divine Feminine as a soul is speaking to the soul. So this is on page 180 for those who do have the book, page 180. I would share it with you all, like put it, but I'm not going to do that because it is a book that's in production. And I don't want to, you know, I want to encourage you to pick up the book, you know, if you can pick it up and put it in your library. It's definitely one that I'm glad I have in my library. I pick it up quite often. I pick this book up quite often. I'm not getting paid to talk about it. It's a book that I've used in my lifetime over years. The first time I picked this book up was probably over 10 years ago, and it was transformative in my life. So yeah, this is on page 180. It's in the chapter that gives a whole lot of recipes and different things. Like it's so much information. I mean, give thanks for Queen Afua who put this together. It's quite amazing. It's an amazing one. This is the gateway to, by the way, the chapter 7. That's funny. Chapter 7. And we're talking about the 7-day transformative work. And this gateway, so this is several gateways that she go through in the book. Chapter 7 is gateway number 2, called Sacred Foods. That's what this gateway is called, Sacred Foods. And so in this one, she gives a whole lot of stuff. So for this one, this is a 7-day work. So it says, so this is 7 days and you're going to, this is challenging you to prepare the body to transform. Okay, just to be clear, preparing you to prepare the body to transform. So it has a lot to do with what you're putting in the body. So first she challenges you to start in your what she called your healing laboratory, which is your kitchen. Start to look at your kitchen as a healing laboratory. When she pushes that quite a bit. When I first heard that and I started to understand it, I said, this is powerful. Because what she tells you to do is do a deep clean of your kitchen, pray over it, create it into a space where you understand that this is my healing lab, because food is medicine. And she challenges you to treat food as medicine. So she says, first, scrub your kitchen healing laboratory. Wash your cabinets, drawers, floors, and tabletops with natural soap and ammonia. I would even throw in there, once you clean it, maybe spray it with a blessing spray or some Florida water or something like that. But you're basically setting intention for this to be your healing laboratory. So what happens when you treat your home like that, or your kitchen, or your home in general? Because you can think about this, how you can do this in your bedroom, how you can do this in your bathroom. But what happens, can you go see if somebody, pardon me, I thought, let's see if you can just see what they got going on. So thank you, Yolanda. So imagine if you look at your home in this way. I just saw somebody outside and they walking on the property, so I just wanted her to make her presence known. As sacred, you're going to be intentional about what you allow into the space, what you don't allow into the space. So this is something real powerful for you to do. And again, this is something wonderful to help you get in a position where you can have a spiritual breakthrough. Because sometimes it has a lot to do with where the state of your body, whether you can actually experience certain levels of higher consciousness and breakthroughs. So wash your cabinets, drawers, floors, and tabletops with natural soap and ammonia is what her suggestion is, but you can go outside of that if you desire, but natural, make sure it's natural. Next, put up a sign at the entrance of your kitchen in the form of a wood carving or poster saying Blank's Kitchen Healing Laboratory. Put up a sign at the entrance of your kitchen in the form of a wood carving or poster, a nice poster that maybe you created, saying Blank's Kitchen Healing Laboratory. You could also name it Ma'at's, M-A-A-T, Ma'at's Kitchen Laboratory. All right. The next one, purify your laboratory with a sage smudge or burn frankincense and myrrh over heated charcoal in a fireproof pot weekly. So you're going to smudge weekly is suggestion. Now, purge your kitchen healing laboratory of all fast food, processed food, flesh food, white sugar, and white flour products. They just doing a walk around. I figured that's something. Okay. Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you. So again, remember the first one is to really deep clean the kitchen. Then the second one is to name your kitchen. Queen Yenn's Kitchen Healing Laboratory. Name your kitchen. So she's suggesting that you get a nice wood carving or create a nice poster where you're putting it up, setting intentions, naming it. That's always powerful. Naming and claiming. So name your kitchen, Blank's Healing Laboratory or Kitchen Healing Laboratory. Then the next suggestion is to purify it every week. Smudge it or frankincense and myrrh it every week. Thank you for y'all staying tuned. Y'all know I never know how long we're going to go and what will we going to go with it, but I just flow. So thank you for flowing with me. Purify it every week. So now you've cleaned it, named it, purified it with smudge. Now she's saying go in and purge your kitchen of all fast food, processed food, flesh food, white sugar, and white flour products. And then fill your kitchen with foods that will heal and create wellness over the next 7 days. So even if you're not one who is totally convinced that you don't want to eat meat anymore or something like that, I just want to be clear. We're just talking about identifying a 7-day period, 7 or more, a 7-day period where you cut it out. Because the reality is, just from my knowledge and my research, for many years, many cultures, many indigenous cultures have done this type of regimen to prepare you for a transformation. And meat is one of the ones they take out. It just is. I can't tell you, I could go into telling you about why and all of that. I won't in this moment, but if you're interested in why, it's a beautiful thing to go and check it out. What is said about still eating meat and ingesting things that has blood essentially in it, and how that you are connecting with the energy of that animal. I just put it like that.
Indigenous people call it a dieta.
A dieta is the cleansing and preparing process. Yes.
Process for
for you.
Yeah, so you prepare.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. And it's because you are connecting with the blood and the fluids of an animal, which a lot of times people go into, the fluids of an animal oftentimes has a lot of energy of fight or flight mode, because they are always in fight or flight. They're animals. So they're always on the animal level, versus the fluid of plants and vegetables are always in a flow. They vibe on the frequency of nature, which is the same frequency of love and flow. And so you wonder why people who go vegan or, healthy, vegetarian, let me put veggie, plants. Okay, when people start eating plants, because I don't even want to put none of them labels, because that could mean anything. But plants, when you go plants, fresh, organic, natural foods with plants, they begin to have a certain different type of energy. Some people call it hippie, tree hugging, whatever. I mean, it is what it is, but it's a love type energy. Wow, it has been known for people to have a more aggressive energy who eats meat, specifically like red meat, but people who eat meat that has blood, That's why some a little lenient with seafood. But in this case, we're saying go away from even seafood. Anything flesh, she's saying purge from. Flesh food. So you've purged your kitchen of all of that, and now you've put in your kitchen life-giving foods. That is plants, herbs, seeds, sprouted foods, living waters, spring water, coconut waters, cucumber waters, any watery fruits. You're talking about elixirs, so waters that you put gemstones in that creates living, waters that you've added minerals to, all of those different type of things. Next, it says the next thing is rehabilitate your taste buds. Consume special healing foods daily to improve your health. And she gives you these foods. Sour foods, lemons, limes, and grapefruits. Breaks up mucus and congestions. Consuming these once or twice a day is the suggestion. This is recorded, y'all. So if you can't take notes too much, you'll see this as a recording, because I don't want to hold you too much longer, because the store does open at noon. And we do have a guest here who's ready to come in. So here are the foods for the rehabilitation of your taste buds. Lemons, limes, and grapefruits, breaking up mucus and congestions. Consume these once or twice daily. Bitters cleanse and build up the blood. Take aloe, 1 tablespoon with water. Golden seal, a teaspoon, 7 days on and 7 days off. Golden seal, 1/4 of a teaspoon. So that's just a little bit. Wood root, steep 1 teaspoon in a cup of water. And dandelion herb, steep 1 teaspoon in 1 cup of water. Bitters, aloe, 1 tablespoon with water. Golden seal, 1/4 of a teaspoon, so that's not much. Golden seal, 7 days on, 7 days off. Wood root, steep 1 teaspoon in 1 cup water. Dandelion herb, steep 1 teaspoon to 1 cup water. Next one, chlorophyll foods. Kale, broccoli, string beans, chard, wheatgrass. Also cleanses and builds the blood. But this is just some she named, but you can easily Google chlorophyll foods. Can you just go ahead, turn that open sign on and unlock the door? I'm gonna just keep going and you can, I'll just flow with it. Or just open that screen door and put the open sign on. Foods with chlorophyll. Now, for those who may not know, chlorophyll is the green lit. You can leave that there. That's cool. The sign that's on the gated door. So just keep the gated door open. There you go. Open the gated door all the way.
Yeah.
And take the, and take, there you go. And just put open, there you go. Thank you. All right. Chlorophyll is the green liquid in greens, just so you know. So when you say chlorophyll food, spinach, anything with green liquid in it, all right? This is what it's saying too. Consume 1 quart 2 or 3 times a day, coupled with 1 quart of distilled room temperature water. And you can also purchase chlorophyll as well. You can also purchase chlorophyll as well. My class went over a little bit this morning, but y'all are welcome to come in. Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, you were supposed to come by yesterday. Welcome in. Feel free to roam around. I'm closing up on this class that's online, but feel free to roam. Chlorophyll foods, that's supposed to be in your kitchen too. Again, the names of these food sheet suggestions: kale, broccoli, string beans, chard, and wheatgrass, but there are plenty other chlorophyll foods. Spinach, just think about green foods. But you could also purchase chlorophyll. Now, some people are on the fence with chlorophyll, liquid chlorophyll. However, I'm not mad with liquid chlorophyll. I ain't mad at it, all right? It works. Liquid chlorophyll works. But of course, anything you could get fresh is also quite amazing. So if you can juice your chards, your spinach, those type of things, that's powerful. All right, next one. I got 2 more bullets and then we're closing up. Red foods, cranberries, raspberries, radishes, and cherries. Cleanses and builds the blood as well. Consume them once a day. Think about it, consuming green and red. Think those 2 things, just keep that in mind. I need to consume something green and something red every day. Cranberries, raspberries, radishes, and cherries cleanse and builds the blood as well. Last bullet, try growing a few of your favorite herbs on your windowsill or in your backyard. After picking, hang them upside down to dry. Prepare as tea to drink for healing, or add them to your healing soup and let them steep with your vegetables. Here's the benefit of growing your own food. If you take that seed and you put it in your mouth, it is going to program the seed. Hear me out now. It's going to program those seeds to give you what you need to heal your body. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Now we at the closing point, so I can't go all the way in and why that's so exciting. But the benefit that your mama could give you when you used to breastfeed, when you could put your mouth on her breast and it will create the medicine that you need to heal. You can get that same benefit from Mother Earth. Imagine that. And the liquids from the plants and everything become like the mother's breast milk. Isn't that amazing? So try that. Try some seeds, put it in your mouth, put it in some soil, get a pot, put it in the soil, let it grow. Even if it's just basil, it's easy to grow. Cilantro is easy to grow in pots. What else is easy? Herbs. Rosemary is easy to grow. Most of the herbs are pretty easy to grow. You can do it in your windowsill. You can do it in your backyard. You want to jump up and go to tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, you can go to that too. But remember to put the seeds in your mouth before you do it. All right. Familiarize yourself with this fast, with the fast that they gave you. And what I'll do is I'll put the fast on a follow-up video. I'll read out the fast that she's suggesting, which is celibacy is in there. Having a partner that you're fasting with is in there. It's different regimen that she's suggesting for that 7 days. But I'm encouraging you to do that 7-day fast. I have some guests in the building, so I'm gonna go ahead and close. What I want you to do is meditate on creating sacred space for your transformation. All right. So I won't do a meditation with you all, but you all know, y'all tune in every Sunday. So you already know how to prepare yourself. Take deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, relax your body, relax. And I want you to meditate on how to create sacred space within your home. This is talking about a sacred kitchen. Thank you. You're welcome, Sonia. This is talking about a sacred kitchen, but I want you to think about how can you make your bedroom sacred? How can you make your living room, your porch, your backyard? How can you create sacred space for your transformations? because sometimes we're not equipped to create this transformation in our worlds. Does that make sense? All right, closing out, write this down or somebody tap it in the chat. She says, this is a commitment, my sacred foods end of the week commitment. I commit myself to establishing and continuing the wisdom of the Almighty, the divine, the wisdom of the divine, and the power of sacred living in all areas of my life. I commit myself to establishing and continuing the wisdom of the divine and the power of sacred living in all areas of my life. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close. Then you sign it and you date it. That's your commitment. I commit myself to establishing and continuing the wisdom of the divine and the power of sacred living in all areas of my life. Sign it, date it. You're welcome, Katie. Oh, Katie from my England, my London friend. Hello. I hope all is well over there. So listen, thank y'all for tuning in. That's so funny. Tassili is texting me right now. That is funny. I should text her, like, guess who I'm talking about? Why are you texting me about a retreat she has coming up? I'll tell y'all more about. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this and you're watching this as a replay, please do share it with people who this may resonate with. Maybe go and find your transformation work partner and y'all do this 7-day together. It can be 7 days or more, but we're starting with the kitchen. This is the kitchen. Because remember, we're getting our physical being prepared to transform from the inside out. And so this is the kitchen. We may go into the bedroom, but I think we can imagine, how do we do the bedroom? How do we do the living room? But you heard the process. Listen to it again if you need to. Take notes while you listen to it. Thank you for tuning in each Sunday, rocking with me. I really appreciate it. If you want to show your love and support to Oyun, thank you, Sonia. If you want to show your support to Oyun, you can do so. Go to the link and the link that you went to tune in. At that link, you will find ways that you can give and support Oyun Ministries. If you enjoy this ministry every Sunday, show your support, show your love. You can show that financially, or you can show it by just your support. Word of mouth. Let people know that you tune in live every Sunday. Let people know we have a wellness headquarters in East Point, Georgia. Let people know that you come and shop, you come to our events and all those different things. One reminder that we have our movie night this Saturday coming. We have the sound bath at 6 and the movie Avatar starts at 7. Out the screen on the green. We'll have food vendors, drinks, all that good stuff. The movie going on outside. And then our super full moon meditation is next Sunday. Okay, that's just a reminder for that. If you haven't joined the newsletter, make sure you join so you can keep up with everything. All right. All right, I'm gonna go. Don't you go nowhere. You better hold this vibe. Remember, take some deep breaths, relax, and then meditate. How do I create a sacred environment so that I can transform from the inside out? That's your meditation for today. All right. Peace and love, y'all.